Welcome to Game Changers with Lisa Faulkner on Love 860 WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio. Lisa is a writer, producer, and innovative communicator with more than 20 years of experience. Join us as we connect you with inspiring experts and entrepreneurs from all walks of life. Your comments and questions are welcome during the broadcast. Call us live on the air at 404-355-8699. That's 404-355-8699. Now, here's Lisa Faulkner.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another round of Game Changers. Hey, guys, I know that you all are game changers in what you do in your everyday life and in your work, and I want to hear about it. I want you to call in and tell us what your game-changing moment of the week was, or just how you are a game changer in your everyday life. Call us at 404-355-8699 if you are local to Atlanta, the Georgia area, or you can call us at 1-866-923-2860 for national callers. I want to interact with you. I want to give you tips and feedback about what I believe you positively have going on in your life as we continue to converse with all of these dynamic game changers that we bring you, and they want to hear from you. They want to hear your stories and what you're doing. So let us hear from you. You're going to love today's show. I always say that you are, and I always hope that you do. But we've got some pretty dynamic guests on tap. We've got a couple of guests in the middle and a sponsor coming back at you just to remind you of why and how you should be in touch with them. And you all do what you want to do. I'm trying to talk to you all and give orders in the booth. It never works out that way. Adriana Blackburn, our new and dear associate producer, just brought our first guest in, and I was pointing for our first guest to take either seat, but I think that they thought I was telling both of them to sit down. I would never do that. Or maybe I would. I don't know. But guys, you're going to love the show. You're going to love hearing from our first guest. And I'm going to ask her to stay around for the hour. She's so busy. She may not have time to spend the entire hour with Game Changers. But this is a perfect guest for you to call into. I'm telling you to call in and tell us about your game-changing moment. But she is a bit of a dating expert in a different way. You're going to learn. You're going to find out. But you can get Game Changers your way, all the time, anytime. You can listen right now, like I hope you are, like I know you are, on WAEC Love 860. You can also listen and watch online. That's pretty cool at love860.com. And then you can get it per either of your radio apps. If you go to WAEC Love 860 on your radio app, that's iHeart, TuneIn, or iRadio Now, you can find the station on either of those apps, and voila, you find the show. You can also check me out on podcasts following any of the shows. Go to penstar.org for those podcasts of Game Changers. And while you're there, sign up for a newsletter, and let me tell you what's coming your way every week with the great guests. Continue to follow me on social media, if you will. Lisa M. Faulkner on Facebook, Lisa Faulkner on LinkedIn, at Penstar Lisa on Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest, Penstar Lisa as well. Get it, Penstar Lisa, Penstar Communications. Penstar Communications you want to check out as well for all of your writing and marketing needs, writing and producing, if you will. I write and produce for World Changers Church International, and you can check out some of my work that I do for them at penstar.org, as well as some of my past work if you need a writer or a producer. And then there are, of course, writing samples for you to check it out. For your next event, you need a press release, you need something written, whatever you need. Penstar Communications, I am certain, can get it done for you under that umbrella of communications, or we're happy to point you to the resource that you need. Well, let's just get started. I told you we have a dynamic guest on board. She just came into Atlanta, and just because it's Saturday, she thought traffic was going to be easy on her. But we had to tell her, welcome to Atlanta. Well, let me tell you who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Karla Ashton. She's an entrepreneur, and she is the creator of Soul Date Events and Jazzy Graham. But Soul Date Events is a part of the reason that she's here. I believe they're putting on an event in the Atlanta area tomorrow. So, and it's I'm going to let her tell you about it. So let me just welcome to Game Changers, Karla Ashton.
Hi there. How's everyone?
Everybody's doing wonderful.
Yay.
Well, tell us now, just first tell us about Soul Date Events.
Okay. Well, Soul Date Events were created to cater to the soul music lovers. Mm-hmm. So it's catered around the soul music genre. When I became single again after my divorce and I started going to dating events, there was nothing that was created to that catered to what I liked. Mm-hmm. Like all of the events that I went to, it was like alternative music and it was like classical or rock, and it was nothing like, and the people that like what you like are the ones that you're going to generally connect with. I mean, that's a part of your connection. My parents, the reason they actually fell in love with each other was over a dance to soul music. You know, when you two-step with someone, it creates a different element. So I created the events to cater to what it was that I liked, and that, you know, people that like me that I like. It's like, you know, our connection. So it was something that was mutual.
I love that. So Soul Date, it kind of has a dual meaning. Mm-hmm. It's not just your soul as a part of our mind, body, and soul, but it's also kind of the genre of entertainment that you provide in this Soul Date experience.
Yes. So it is, it's two-part. It's like, you know, you find your soulmate, your soul date, and, you know, you're dating around the soul music setting. So music has a huge impact on our lives, and the soul music that sets the mood, it changes everything. There's something about a song that creates a type of a feeling. You know, it's like what is it called? You know, it's like when you reminisce about something, you're just like a song can bring you back to that moment.
Or something, yeah. Well, you know what I love? You know what I heard? And this is what I hear from most game changers. She said, after my divorce. Mm-hmm. You know that? She said that because that's what game changers do. They get up and they find something greater and better than what they were doing, or better or greater than themselves even, because this thing that you're doing, it's not just a one city or a one kind of venue thing. Yeah. Tell us more about how you go from city to city with the Soul Date.
Well, I mean, of course, originally I was doing them only in my city. You know, you start with what you know. And a friend of mine was like, oh my gosh, you know, she visited and she went to the event, and she was like, oh my gosh, we need to do this in Texas. And so a friend of mine was like, hey, I have people. And I had never done an out-of-state or an out-of-city event, for that matter. And I never really knew how to coordinate it. But since I had began booking events and doing events locally, then I started to understand how the whole thing works.
Wow.
And normally you look at something and you're like, how the heck am I going to conquer these things? And you always think, well, I have no idea where to even begin. But it was just, you know, like trial and error. I just got out there and started connecting with people, and God will put people in place to say, hey, this is where you should be and this is what you should be doing. And so
that is so
it was
good.
Awesome.
That is so good, and that is so right. When you take that step, the Lord or God will take the next. The universe that will open up for you.
Yes.
It will do what it needs to do.
And then people everywhere have been just, hey, come out here. And I'm like, okay, we're going to do that too. And so I've just been, you know, little by little.
How many cities have you been to?
Right now, well, I've been to quite a few.
With the Soul Date.
Right, but we're in Houston. We're in DMV, so that's D.C., Maryland, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
We do Birmingham. Of course,
Okay.
we're in Atlanta now.
I'm from
We're doing
Birmingham.
San Antonio and Dallas as well.
Oh, you're kidding.
And Vegas. Yes, we do Vegas quarterly.
Excellent.
So we're going to be in Vegas in May
This
during
is
the fight
pretty
weekend.
big.
Yeah.
So is this
So
your
it's
first
growing.
time? It is growing.
It's great. I'm like,
That's
yay.
so wonderful.
It's awesome.
Is this your first time in Atlanta doing it?
No, this will be the second Atlanta
Oh, my
event.
gosh.
So I've only done it here once, and it was pretty good, and we're just going to keep on,
So tell the people what they can expect when they can come out, what they can expect when they come out.
Okay, so the event is tomorrow, Sunday, at 5 p.m. And at first, we just do like a meet and greet, get people to know each other, do a couple of games. I put people together. It's like when people you don't know each other, they try to like click up and go to people that they know. So I have to separate them and make them go where I want them to be. And that works perfectly because, it's just like sitting next to someone on a plane. You're assigned to a seat and you have to get to know them, which is awesome. And then you never knew you could make a new friend. And you do. So it's good. So I have to be like the teacher. And I'm like, okay, you go sit over there. And you go sit over there. But they have fun. And we mingle. And then
where is the venue? Where is it happening?
It is 5 p.m. at Epic Lounge. So it's off Cascade and, is it Fulton Industrial?
Fulton Industrial is correct.
Yes. Off
Wow.
Cascade. Epic is a new lounge. It's really nice. I love
sounds
it.
nice. I love the name.
Yes, it is.
So how
and they
long-
have the best chicken sandwiches. Oh my gosh.
That's reason enough to go out.
It is. I look forward to it. Last time I was so shocked. I was like, wow, because it's like a bistro, like the quality of the sandwich. You go to a lounge and you're like, it's gonna be lounge food, but no, it's really good. Like their chef, he's awesome.
That is so awesome.
Yes, I love it.
Well, tell us about some of the hookups or what kind of turnout you get or what people can expect or how do you know this is really working?
Well, we have a couple of. Well, I have 2 marriages under that we can contribute to Soul Date.
That is
so
so
that
great.
happened last year. Well, no, the year before last year. That was after the first year of my Soul Date. It was actually from my second Soul Date event. We ended up having 2 marriages from those of people. That was
my
it was like 160 people that went to that event.
Really?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was
2
so awesome.
marriages.
Yes. And they both had babies last year. And they're
love
on
this.
the Facebook page in the beginning. You can see on
Wow.
there. And we
So
also
they
have
met
a few.
last year?
No, the year before last year when we
before
started.
last.
So I started in 2012 doing events locally in Denver. And then 2013 was my first out-of-state event. And then it's just been little by little since then.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're just, moving
Now,
on up.
what makes a divorcee want to pour back into other people's lives the very thing that she lost? What led you this way?
Well, being single or re-entering the single realm as an adult, I had never actually been single as an adult. I got married when I was 18, so I got married really young.
You got married really young.
Yeah, so I didn't really know, you have to like learn the ropes of single life. It's a very different arena. And so because of what I had experienced, and going through, and I'm the kind of person, I'll try something. I'll be like, okay, I'm not afraid to try stuff. A lot of my friends are terrified. And so the reason why I was motivated to do this is because of the fears that people tend to have, and to make it easier, it's more terrifying to go somewhere where not only is it something that you're not used to, but it's also in a place that you're not familiar with that doesn't cater to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're going to go to Japan and try to meet some single people. And, it's just like, well, where do I start? And we don't speak the same language. You know what I'm saying? It's uncomfortable.
Yes.
And it makes the uncomfort of it all even more so than it has to be.
So you not only did this for others, you also did it for yourself.
Well, yeah. I mean,
We're working
when
on
I was
that,
right when I
that.
was experiencing this and I was going to these events that I was going to, I was like, you know what? These are terrible. I can do this myself. And so I did, and I changed a lot of the elements of these events that I experienced to, be more efficient and to be much more, so they
Who are
would
some
flow
of
better.
your sponsors, or who are some of the people who are supporting you in this endeavor? Anybody? Any companies? Any? Okay.
Well, I have a few
Individuals.
local companies. Milton
Milton
Davis, he's
Davis,
awesome.
Mr. Make It Happen.
He does make it happen. That
Did you
guy.
talk to Milton today? Did you learn what happened with him?
No.
We should just be praying for him. I'm not going to put his information on the radio, but everybody just pray for Mr. Make It Happen.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I didn't know
he had a pretty
anything.
rough yesterday, but he's still plugging along today, still making things happen.
Oh, wow.
Still handling the business before him. So
Goodness.
yeah, everybody pray for Milton.
Well,
but
I will
anyway,
do that.
yes,
Yeah,
Milton
he's awesome.
he is awesome. And who else are some of your supporters?
I have my Soul Date team. I created a Facebook group, and we do a lot of local we do local events wherever we're at because it's a nationwide group. So I have different people in different places. So shout out Soul Date Single Mingle.
Wow.
Yeah, they make it happen wherever we're at. So if I'm here, they're doing events. We do stuff in Denver. They have different meetups and things. So they keep
That's
it
pretty cool.
moving, keep it active.
Well, Dynasty, is it time for our first break? Yeah, just about. You know what? I talk to Dynasty all the time, and I know the listeners think, who is this Dynasty? Dynasty, you've got to plug in and at least say hello to the listeners sometime. She's like, no. Well, they think I'm probably talking to myself. You can at least say hello to the listeners sometime. Anyway, Karla, can you stay with us?
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. I want to learn who Karla Ashton is. I want to learn who you are behind the Soul Day events. I want to learn about Jazzy Graham. But we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna take a couple of calls, and then we're gonna talk some more to Karla Ashton. Keep listening. Thank you.
Are you looking for an attorney? Or better yet, are you looking for the right results? Call the Ponder Law Group, 404-870-8070. If your case is complicated and confusing, call today. We take individual cases personally, just like your family. The Ponder Law Group, making clients into lifelong friends. Call 404-870-8070. The Ponder Law Group, if you want to win. When everyone else says no, the Ponder Law Group says yes. We're the ones to call for your legal needs. The Ponder Law Group, 404-870-8070. The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about the firm's qualifications and experience. When it comes to legal matters, you can't afford to take chances. You need an attorney with knowledge, experience, and compassion. Brian Poe & Associates is one of the most trusted law firms in Atlanta. Mr. Poe and his well-qualified team can assist you with criminal matters, personal injury, and bankruptcy, as well as divorce, wills, and family law. And even more important, you can count on reasonable, affordable fees so that you can get back to living your life. Brian Poe & Associates, serving all of Metro Atlanta, Union City, and Augusta. Call right now to arrange a consultation. 404-287-2363. That's 404-287-2363. Mention Game Changers to receive a special discount. Call 404-287-2363 or simply go online to thesigningattorney.net. That's thesigningattorney.net. The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about the firm's qualifications and experience.
It's a song we learned in Zimbabwe. You are Alpha and Omega.
Well, we are back, guys, and I never like to come back really quickly on that beautiful music that Dynasty always plays. Dynasty doesn't want to talk with you all, but she's doing a great job in the booth, and I appreciate her. You're going to appreciate our next guest. I had him on before. He's truly a game changer. He has been in the ministry and doing great things since such a young age. He's only young. He's young now. He's only 17 years old now. But I believe Pastor Jared Sawyer was called into the ministry when he was like 5 years old. But he's got a very important event coming up that he wants to tell the listeners about. And I'm just happy to say welcome back to Game Changers, Pastor Sawyer.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it is my sincere pleasure. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm, celebrating 50th anniversary of Selma. Got a busy week next week. It's got revivals going on, and have a meeting with the governor next week and the lieutenant governor. And of course, planning for our big conference next week for DeKalb County. So it's going to be really awesome.
That is awesome. So, Pastor Sawyer, how are you celebrating the 50th March in Selma? Are you there, or are you just in?
No, I wasn't able to make it because I had to be back here in Atlanta tomorrow.
Right.
And so I had to be back here tomorrow in Atlanta to be at my home church, Minister of Music at Center Hill. But I am dealing with the King Center this evening. I meant to go to the special screening that they had, but later on today I'm going to try to attend some of the festivities that they're having. And I also have a social media campaign that's happening. And then in celebrating Selma, really the Let Freedom Ring Black History Conference that I'm having next week is kind of the spin-off celebration to, keep the essence of the Selma movement going throughout the next, coming weeks. Wow.
That's pretty great. I'm always so proud of you. What are you meeting with the governor for?
He is very excited as well about the Black History Conference. We have his support from it, and I'm talking to him to, let him know some of the things that we've got going on. And also, I meet with him occasionally every 2 or 3 months to discuss with him kind of my state of the state, if that makes sense.
It does make sense
from the youth perspective. And to, just get a chance to talk with him and express as a young man where, some of the things that are going on throughout our state, how we can address them in a variety of areas, just from a youth perspective.
Wow, that's very good. What did you think about the youth response or turnout for the 50th March in Selma? Do you think that the youth are really rallying around the effort or appreciate it, or what do you think about the youth response to it?
Well, I'm very grateful for having so many young people and young leaders, such as Mary Pat Hector, if you've heard of her, but Mary Pat Hector and a couple of others. I just spoke with, just got the phone a couple of hours ago with Prophet Bryce Graham. He's around our age, and really recruiting young people to come out to Selma to march, because it's a necessary thing for the young generation to know about the anniversary, to connect with our history, and to make sure that we don't repeat our history.
Yes.
By being knowledgeable of different things, including our history, where we've come from. So for us to experience 50 years later, having an African-American president in the White House, and for us to experience a lot of the freedoms that we have, it's remarkable. And it's important that young people go and march and really, push themselves out there in developing that knowledge of history.
I love that. That is so true. Did you get an opportunity to hear the president's speech today?
I did. I feel, I'm going to say it so publicly, I feel that it is the best speech that Obama has ever given.
I know it, wasn't it? I know it. That one's truly going to go down in history.
It does. It was on the same level of Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech.
Yes, it was.
Not only is it 50 years later, but it is, as an African-American president.
Yes.
The footsteps, of people like Representative John Lewis. It's remarkable.
It is remarkable.
Those words to come to life the way that they did. If it would have came from anybody else, it would have been normal. But it came from the President of the United States, and that's remarkable.
That is remarkable. I got the opportunity to hear it as well. I wanted to go over to Selma. However, we waited a little late, and there was just no accommodations from Selma to Montgomery that just booked up. The hotel.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so we were just a little. We decided not to drive over tomorrow and have to make that drive right back following the march over the bridge, but it is certainly a momentous time. I want to tell the listeners what you have coming up. You have your first annual Let Freedom Ring Black History Conference. It's an event organized
next week on next Saturday in partnership with Commissioner Larry Johnson. We put together the Let Freedom Ring Black History Conference, and basically we are turning up for Black history, and we're turning up for Black enhancement of, especially of young Black males and females. But the target audience is everyone. But we definitely are targeting, our young Black males and females, pushing it out to them. We're going to be celebrating. It's going to be a really awesome time. So we've got workshops and exhibits. HBCUs in the state of Georgia will be here to exhibit their college, display information on how they can get connected. We've got the U.S. Army, the Marines, the Navy is going to be there.
Wow.
We have over 70 exhibits of businesses, career development centers from different fields are going to be there. I mean, it's momentous. And then we've got workshops. So we have workshops that are going to be focusing either on African American history or socioeconomic issues from, things like Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, all the way to stuff, like Selma. So there's so much stuff. And then we've got celebrity appearances. So we've got One Up Society, those who created the drop dance, We Are Tunes, the Nene, and famous to most, the ones who made the whip dance. We've got Michael from Rick Ross Group, Asia Nicole, Tasia George, Greg Street, Poster Child DJ One, Travis Porter, Emmanuel and Philip Hudson, Taylor Girls. A whole bunch of people are going to be there to make appearances. Some people are making performances. We even have a talent competition.
Wow.
Where people are going to get the opportunity to compete in their talent, and it has to relate something to do with African-American homage, and that's going to be hosted by teen media personality Zion DeFro. And, I mean, it's just going to be awesome, and it's impeccable, especially the impact that this is going to have on the community here in DeKalb County and throughout the entire North Metro area. And so, I'm really, really looking forward to it next week. And, definitely encouraging every young person to come out and even young adults come out and experience the great benefit that this conference is going to bring.
Wow, it really sounds like it, Pastor Sawyer. The associate producer, Adriana, here was bobbing her head at all of the musical artists that you were saying, and I'm going, I don't know anything he's talking about, but obviously this is hitting home with the younger crowd. She knew the artists that you referenced. So,
it's so important that we reach out to them in Black history. Some things that a lot of people don't reach out to them. Reaches out to the general to the general idea, and that's the reason why I was happy that Selma the movie came out, because with Selma the movie coming out, it appealed to the reality of everything. Dr. King was a real person. In fact, I had a conversation. I had this event that I did a couple of weeks ago called A Conversation with Civil Rights, and I had like Sonona Clayton and a couple other people on there. And one people I was glad to have on there was Isaac Newton Ferris. And Isaac Newton Ferris said, when I was interviewing him, he said, Dr. King as an uncle was a real person. He was a kid when he was a kid. And he was just a real person. And when you look at Selma, you see that. It's not just the man who did the I Have a Dream speech or the man who, didn't, led marches. there was a reality in his personality, and that's something, along with appealing Black history, that needs to be pushed out there to young people to make sure that they know.
That's good, Pastor Sawyer. That's a really good different vantage point for it. I believe the same thing when I saw the film. I thought that it really humanized Dr. King, but we still were able to walk away with our hero. It wasn't demeaning to him in any way, but it helped us to understand him better as a man, and I'm sure that made him relatable to a lot more people. And as you said, even the youth can probably draw a stronger connection with him beyond that film.
Right.
So tell me now, you missed Black History Month. That was February, but you're taking this effort in March to carry it on. Is this a way of saying that every month should be Black History Month, or what is your reasoning for doing it at this time?
It's something in that essence of what you just said. February, the month of February, not just because it's 28 days, but the month of February is too short to celebrate Black history. Black history is a part of American history.
Amen.
And it's not just something that we should make distinct during one month.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we should celebrate throughout the year.
Wow.
And there are two reasons why I wanted to do it in March. The first reason was because, as our target being youth, I wanted to make it known to young people that just because it's another, month, doesn't mean that you should not celebrate where you've come from and learn more and more and more. And another reason is because with everything going on in Selma, I was actually, when I started to plan the conference, I was getting ready to have it on this weekend, but then I saw that wasn't going to be the right way. But with everything going on in Selma, I wanted to have it around that timing, so then that way it we're keeping that essence going. And I feel that's something that a lot of organizations, a lot of public figures, a lot of celebrities need to do, is just keep the essence of Black history, Black advancement, Black enhancement available, not just during Black History Month or a couple of days afterwards, but throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. That's good, Pastor Sawyer. That's really good. Did you all have anything for him? You're bobbing your heads, or you're just in good agreement with it? Go ahead, Karla. Did you have something for the pastor?
I think that it's great to be able to reach out and specifically target the youth. Like that is where we're going to get our Martin Luther Kings and Malcolm X's, and everyone needs to be able to relate to that and say, I can do this too. It's possible for me. I have the ability, because he is just as human as I, and we have the same walk or a similar. So it's awesome.
And you made a good point when you were just saying I can do this too. Mm-hmm. Think about how many young people out there want to be civil rights activists. Mm-hmm. Don't hear it. And
exactly.
Joseph Lowry is not going to be around forever.
Right.
Al Sharpton is not going to be around forever. Jesse Jackson is not going to be around forever. The King family is not going to be around forever. And if we don't step up as a generation to keep the essence of Black history going, then it will fade away and history will repeat itself. Now, back into slavery, but with things going on such as what Obama spoke today about the voting rights being taken away throughout the country, it will grow. It will cultivate to the point that history will repeat itself in a sense of minor development of certain things that keep us or push us back to where we used to be.
What do you mean, minor development of certain things? What kinds of things?
Minor developments of voting rights, or growth of blatant racism. Blatant racism is something that can grow undeniably, and we don't see it if we're not making ourselves aware of it. Now, that has nothing to do, when I say this, with, let's say the Mike Brown case or the Trayvon Martin case. This is a matter of job acquisition. This is a matter of societal advancement in government. This is a matter, these are all matters that oftentimes, depending on, there's a very small ratio of people who care and people who don't care, or people who pay attention and people who don't pay attention, because it's not as significant to the general black community anymore.
Right.
Because when you think about it, we're a lot freer. As Obama said, we are better off now than we were years ago. We're a lot freer now than we were years ago. And the more free we got, the more less united as a black community we became in taking heed to certain issues. So when it comes to stuff like, even if we just take it all the way back to slavery, we had the single goal of getting out of it. And then when you take it from slavery into segregation, we had the single goal of getting out of it. And nothing came in the way of that. Religion didn't come in the way of it, whether you were of the Islam community, whether you were Christian, whether you were, any other religion, whatever your creed was, whatever your culture was. As a black community, we stood together to stand up for what it was that we believed in. And we, kept ourselves abreast of issues and difficulties and different things like that.
Wow.
So
let me just interject, Pastor Sawyer. Let me allow Karla to say something. She's chomping at the bit here, and then we have a caller as well. Go ahead, Karla.
I was just going to say that I don't think that we've been united as a whole since slavery became what it was. I mean, since we were disassociated from where we originally were, we've not been united at all, because from then forward, there have been issues, religiously, just collectively as a culture, as a people. We were detached, and everything that we knew of was stripped and taken away, from your native tongue to how you live your life as a whole, your livelihood, your food, everything, your whole entire culture is gone. Your name is gone. And so there were so many people that were saying, well, if we just, comply and we're, just do whatever they say do, then we'll be okay. Some people have a different perspective on living life, to just comply and survive, or we're going to fight and live. And there's fighters, and there's people that just want to be peaceful and do whatever it takes just to save the situation. So I don't know that we've ever had collectively one agenda, because we have those two types of perspectives. You have the people that have the fear and that they just want to be safe, and then you have the people that will do whatever it takes by any means necessary just to make sure.
And that has always been the case. That's a very interesting perspective, and it's good that you outline it that way. That's something for us to think about on the break. Pastor Sawyer, you stay with us as well. I want you to repeat this information about Saturday, March 14th for the listeners to really join you in letting freedom ring. We also have a caller that we want to let in with us after the break. So if everyone would just stay right where you are, we'll talk to you after the break.
Sounds good.
I feel like having a little church this evening. Oh, yeah. Well, I've been lied on. She talked about mistreated. I've been beat, scorned, talked about showing some. I've been up, down, almost to the ground. But long as I got King Jesus, long as I got King Jesus, long as I got him, don't need nobody else. I've been lied on.
Let's face it, negotiation in today's business world can be a real challenge unless you know the right people. And if you want to protect yourself, the first name you need to know is Poe Simpson Law. Poe Simpson provides comprehensive legal support for small businesses, entertainment, athletes, and emerging entrepreneurs. Principals Brian Poe and Michelle Simpson are well seasoned in contract negotiations and establishing sound business relationships. Whether your concern is corporate, real estate, or launching your creative career, Poe Simpson Law can serve you from start to finish, from forming your entity to contracting professional services. Take the first step in securing your future right now. Contact Poe Simpson Law to arrange a consultation. Call 404-994-6220. That's 404-994-6220. Mention Game Changers to receive a special discount. Call 404-994-6220. That's 404-994-6220. Or visit PoeSimpsonLaw.com. That's PoeSimpson law.com. The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about the firm's qualifications and experience. Are you looking for an attorney? Or better yet, are you looking for the right results? Call the Ponder Law Group, 404-870-8070. If your case is complicated and confusing, call today. We take individual cases personally, just like your family. The Ponder Law Group, making clients into lifelong friends. Call 404-870-8070. The Ponder Law Group, if you want to win. When everyone else says no, the Ponder Law Group says yes. We're the ones to call for your legal needs. The Ponder Law Group, 404-870-8070. The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about the firm's qualifications and experience.
Praise him now and praise him again, yeah. Praise him every time.
Well, we are back, guys, after the break, and wow, we had some really stimulating conversation on the break. I'm having to talk for people, but I'm going to tell you what our associate producer Adriana said during the break. But I want to hear from Mr. Milton first. Milton, do we have you on the line?
Yes, you guys do. How you guys doing tonight?
We are doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. I can't complain because I didn't know it wouldn't matter, right?
That is correct. Well, you are in our thoughts and prayers. We've already mentioned your name several times and how wonderful you are, Mr. Make It Happen. And Karla has counted you amongst her supporters and all that good stuff. And we know that you are a supporter of Game Changers. So thank you for calling this evening.
Well, thank you guys for having me, and thanks for having Miss Karla. You know, that's come way from Denver, Colorado. So welcome to the jail. I was hearing the conversation you guys were having just before the break about, you know, the African American mindset.
Yes.
And one of the things I want to, you know, kind of add to that, you know, is that unfortunately, you know, us as African Americans, we have been taught how to not take our own emotions as important, our own feelings. You know, I think that we belittle our own feelings. You know, we was always taught, you know, if you think about from the slavery days, is master, how we's doing today? Are we sick? Or we always made other people more prioritized than our own.
That's an interesting perspective, Milton.
Well, if you say I think about it, you can take it even to today's time right now. You know, when and you take it to the Sandy Springs shooting a couple years ago, how America just wrapped around their arms around those 12 kids that were unfortunately killed in Sandy Springs. But, you know, how often we have 12 African-American young kids are getting killed, you know, every day. And we kind of, it's kind of like normal to us. It's very normal to us at that point in time. So we don't even, it's not even as sensitive to us, you know, until it's us. Or if you think about the Trayvon Martin, or you think about all these different things that's happened in the last 3 years, even after the aftermath, you know. It's not as important, or I wouldn't say as important, but we kind of detach ourselves from it because of being demanalized from back in slavery up until now, and it's a generation of curse. And until we figure that part out, that we, from a psychological standpoint, because one thing about us as African Americans, we do not like to hear the word psychiatry or help or counseling. It's like a disease to us, but we need it. You know, we don't talk about it. We don't, you know, a lot of people get molested. A lot of people have something in their childhood, you know, things that happen to them, but nobody talks about it. Why? Because it's like a secret. So all these things, we detach ourselves from our feelings.
Wow.
That's what I want to add to it, what you guys were talking about.
Milton, you cannot just dump all of that on us and say, well,
Okay, that's all.
That's all. Okay, that's all.
That was loaded. That was loaded.
Very loaded. That was about 3 different shows. But wow, that was some very profound thought. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. I'm just giving you a hard time because I don't have a comeback for any of it right now because, like I said, that's about 3 different shows, brother man. That's really wonderful, though, because Pastor Sawyer and the associate producer, Adriana, they believe that despite and in light of all of those truths, there is one group that is able to kind of see us through and make the real difference in our lives and in the Black lives. And that is that group of youth that Pastor Sawyer is targeted towards and that Adriana spoke so poignantly about during the break. She brought out a very significant point in saying that I think when we think about their leaders that we represented, that we honored today for the march across the bridge, all of the different happenings during the civil rights movement, we kind of have them in a light that's maybe not true. We see them as maybe older than they were, or, not relating to what was really going on at that time. But as Pastor Sawyer and I said, the movie Selma really humanized Dr. King and showed him as a young man trying to live his life, but feeling very called for a purpose that was bigger than he was. And that's what Adriana was pointing out. In every movement, it's been the youth who have really stepped forward to make a difference in this country and in our lives. And I think Pastor Sawyer is hoping for the same thing with this group of youth. And you can join him on Saturday, March 14th from 11 until 1:45. Registration is opening there at 10:30. Pastor Sawyer is a 17-year-old pastor. He's a national recording gospel artist. He's a media personality, best-selling author. And the Let Freedom Ring Black History Conference is going to be held right here at the Exchange Park Recreation Center in Decatur, Georgia. Pastor, is there anything else in closing before we have to let you go?
I think that's all. I'm looking forward to it. It starts at 11 o'clock. Registration begins at 10:30, and how we have it is for ages 10 and under is free. Ages 11 and above is $10, and that includes, your wristbands, your T-shirts, food. We've got Chick-fil-A coming, everything. So really encourage everybody to come on out. Exchange Park Indicator. Social media's got some more information, and so definitely come on out.
All right, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being a game changer. Take care of yourself.
You too.
Milton, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Do not unload on us again. We cannot. Karla, what do you have to say about what this stuff that Milton said?
Well, I mean, I agree. It's a lot. It's a lot, but I agree. Those are things that we do need to address.
It is.
I mean, there definitely needs to be an address to all of those things. And in my community, we're trying to do nationwide also. I work with a group called Barbershop Talk and Women's Shop Talk Live. And so we have like these biweekly meetings as a community and talk about these types of issues. And it does help to actually know that, so many people have experienced certain things, or how to really let things out, especially for the men, to let things out, and then they talk about solutions.
Yep.
So the dialogues are happening, and there's a lot of things that are being addressed to some degree, but what is not happening is the solution. So we need to start talking and presenting solutions to these problems that we have, these problems that are plaguing our culture or our people.
You're right. Go ahead.
I think one of the things, and that you're saying, Karla, is that the solution is actually, in the grand scheme of things. But you guys kind of touched on it earlier about today's leaders. Unfortunately, today's leaders, do not grab the attention of, the people today because of their lack of engagement, because the only time they show up is when something big on TV or X, Y, and Z. I heard a wise man once say one of the biggest mistakes that the African Americans ever made was fighting for segregation. And at first I thought it was an insult, but not. And as I thought about it, he was absolutely right, because before segregation, we had our own banks. We had our own systems. We had our own everything. You know, think about it, the first technical Wall Street was in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, we had our own Black Wall Street. But, you know, we gave it up because we felt like we needed to be a part of something.
Oh, wait. We didn't give it up. We were massacred there. We did not give it up. All our stuff was blown up and tore up, and they took it from us again. It was destroyed. It wasn't, we didn't give it up.
Right. You think about it like this. One of the reasons why the United States of America is the most powerful country on earth, because it had the most powerful assets. It had free land and free labor. You know, you go right now, you take a company right now, and Walmart came to you right now, Lisa, say, hey, Lisa, you can have this building and all the employees. Do what you want to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Call me later. How much money can you make? You know, how far can you take this company? It's when it's totally free. And that's what was the greatest thing that happened to America. They had free labor and free land.
Now, what were you debating, Karla? What was it that you said that's not the way it was?
Oh, I mean, we were talking about the first Wall Street.
History.
Black Wall Street.
Oh.
We didn't give it up. It was destroyed.
It was taken in Tulsa.
So we have to have a show around all of these black issues, because there are so many black issues. There's no story like the black story. You know, all of those things you talked about, Milton, and us, you know, being afraid to really get help or therapy or whatever we need. I think that's because of all those dynamics that you talked about that have kind of set us aside or out of the mainstream way of doing things, and we've just learned to do things our way in the way our ancestors taught us. We're getting ready to go, but I don't want to go without Karla telling us more about where people can find her. There was a part of her business that we didn't even talk about. We didn't even talk about the
Jazzy Gram.
Jazzy Gram. Milton, are you still there? Can we thank you for calling us?
Thank you.
Well, thank you, guys, and let Miss Karla in the show, you know, with her event tomorrow, and, you know, and Jazzy Gram.
Yes, sir. We certainly will. And take care of yourself. I will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you, guys.
Yes. Bye. Now, Karla, tell us quickly about Jazzy Gram.
Okay, so I have a singing telegram company. Right now, it is only local delivery for the actual gift and personal serenade in person. You can get it nationwide with Jazzy Gram by phone and video montage for Jazzy Gram.
Oh, that's so unique.
Yes. So what the Jazzy Gram by phone is let's say, okay, we use Milton for an example. He had a bad day today. So what you would do is you would order a Jazzy Gram by phone, which is only $19.99. We will call Mr. Milton and sing him a song and deliver him a personal message with your sentiments. So, you know, he'll feel better after we sing to him.
Tell the people where they can find you, find out more about Soul Date events and Jazzy Gram. Can they find
Soul
you
Date
online?
Yes. We're on Facebook as well. So Facebook, Soul Date Love. So it's facebook.com/Soul Date Love, or just Soul Date, SOULDATE on Facebook. And then Jazzy Gram is on Facebook as well, JAZZYGRAM. Or you can check the website, jazzygram.com, JAZZYGRAM.com. And, then the Soul Date website, souldatelove.com as well.
Well, thank you very much for coming in and spending the hour with me.
No problem.
You were very great for the hour. I learned some very stimulating information about your businesses, and your contributions with the other guests were just as stimulating.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. And good luck tomorrow. I hope that someone else meets their soulmate.
Yes, definitely.
On their soul date. Well, well, that's it, Game Changers. I thank you all for listening. We are going to see you. I am going to talk to you in 623. That's 6 days and 23 hours. Until then, do your best.
Thank you for listening to Game Changers with Lisa Faulkner. For more details about anything discussed on the program, go online to www.penstar.org. That's PENSTAR.org. And be sure to follow Lisa on social media. On Facebook, look for Lisa M. Faulkner and follow Penstar Lisa on Twitter and Instagram. And join us every week at this same time for Game Changers with Lisa Faulkner right here on Love 860 WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio.